Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into this show today. Now today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. So we don't observe holidays or bankers hours here. So it means despite a short week for New Year's, we have a good show for you. We are checking in with Chase and Aeroplane's Pay Yourself Back, seeing who they're capping and what. We of course have the statuses for the Marriott MGM now, where you can see what perks you're going to get at what level. We have Capital One sending the internet ablaze with fiery thumbnails of their nerfing the Venture X, but is it really that big of a deal? We'll take a look at it. And of course, we will close with some U.S. Bank Smartly personal updates, not so much to the program, but just for those trying to make their way through Smartly. I'll let you know how it's going so far, as there was a big change for us product changers over the new year. Meaning it works now. I don't want to be a tease. It just works now. So anyhow, that sounds interesting to you. Go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, batting leadoff, we will touch base with Chase and Aeroplan. So you remember Chase has the Pay Yourself Back feature, which basically allows you to take points or miles earned with a specific card and redeem them towards set categories that Chase has chosen. In the case of Aeroplan, for example, it was like travel is the big one. There's dining and groceries, but travel is the big one because you could redeem Aeroplan points for travel purchases made on the Aeroplan card at 1.25x back, which is a quarter better than, if you were just cashing them out, perhaps. The other categories aren't as good. I think they're under 1 cent per point. So anyhow, when this first came out maybe a year or so ago, there were a handful of stories, Redditors, going crazy, unloading massive amounts of Aeroplan points. And, the reason being, I believe, is because it wasn't that hard to earn Aeroplan points because they had credit card programs and such around in other markets. I think American Express had them on the Canadian side, for example. Maybe you had just been traveling Aeroplan for so long and have these points, for whatever reason. So anyhow, Chase has stepped in and they're now putting in a limit of how many you can cash out per year. Specifically, was already started January 1st. The limit is 200,000 points. This comes to us from the Frequent Miler, have this first. But it's 200,000 points is going to be the cap at that 1.25x. So if you maxed it out, you're looking at $2,500 in travel. That's how the math works. Ultimately, anytime you can see you see the word capping or limits, people freak out. It would be so hard to earn 200,000 points on the card then redeem it. I really don't think this is a big deal at all. This is clearly just put in place to stop the people who were just going crazy with it. Also interesting, we haven't seen them expand this too far, on the other cards that have a feature of Pay Yourself Back. So there's that. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but if that is you, now you know. So, if you spent all your Aeroplan points cashing them out, well then you may be in luck if you have Marriott points or Marriott status, because we now have, thanks to 1 mile at a time, we understand what you're going to get with the Marriott MGM partnership, what the statuses are going to match to, the properties involved, and things like that. Because if you remember, MGM dumped Hyatt way back when in favor of Marriott. So we're here. Let's take a look at this. We're going to go through the 1 mile at a time article together, because it is fairly interesting. So we'll skim through it here. So just so you know, for property-wise, again, of the 17 MGM properties that are part of the MGM collection with Bonvoy, 5 are directly affiliated with Marriott Collection brands. So Bellagio, Aria, Park MGM, the Cosmo, and the Delano. Haven't been to that one. On top of that, 7 MGM resorts in Vegas belong to MGM Collection with Marriott Bonvoy. You've got them there for you. I don't think we need to go through them all. And then lastly, 5 other MGM properties in the United States belong to MGM Collection within there. So these aren't necessarily in Vegas, which is what we generally think of. So, you've got, some coverage in New Jersey, Mississippi, Michigan, shout out. And I've been to the MGM Grand Detroit, Maryland, and Massachusetts. So you've got a wide range of properties. Doesn't have to all be Vegas, a few other spots. So what do you get? The thing is, what you really want to know is what you want to get. So Marriott Bonvoy Silver Elite members, which is just the basic of the basic status, receive the following in MGM properties: 10% Marriott Bonvoy bonus points on qualifying charges. Doesn't do much. Bonvoy Gold, 25% Bonvoy bonus points on qualifying charges. Welcome gift of 500 Marriott Bonvoy points per stay. Platinum Elite, this is where it starts to get good, which is same as the normal, I think, status deal. that you would get at Marriott. 50% Marriott Bonvoy bonus points on qualifying charges, welcome gift of 1,000 Marriott Bonvoy points per stay, or $20 food and beverage credit per night, enhanced room upgrades based on availability, complimentary 2 p.m. late checkout, and then priority check-in. And titanium, 75% bonus qualifying points on qualifying charges, $1,000 welcome gift, the same deal. The credit now is at $30 at the W Las Vegas. So if you're staying at the select spot, you get $10 more. Enhanced room upgrades on availability, late checkout, on availability, priority check-in, discounts to select shows. And then Ambassador Elite, which is like the top tier deals where you get the most, the same 75% points boost, welcome gift, same deal there, enhanced upgrades, waived resort fee, that's probably a really big one. One suite upgrade at a Las Vegas hotel per year, that's probably a good one. Complimentary 1 p.m. early check-in and 4 p.m. late checkout, that's nice. Self-parking complimentary, valet and taxi service expedited. Priority access on check-in, dining, shows, entertainment, VIP check-in, VIP line access, guaranteed hotel reservations within 24 hours, fine dining priority reservations, dedicated lines at participating restaurants, 15% off retail, on and on and on. Now, those who are MGM Rewards members are also able to link accounts to receive benefits at Marriott Bonvoy properties. So Pearl gets silver, gold gets gold, platinum gets... Platinum also gets gold, and then Noir gets Ambassador Elite. So there you go. I mean, Omat, as always, did a much better job running that down than I would have. Granted, we just took his article, but overall, not too bad. As you can see, I think they're still trying to guard against making these statuses worth something. Ambassador is the one you need. Platinum is the one that you get for having the brilliant card. I mean, that one's not bad, but you can see Platinum and Ambassador where it's at. Silver is nothing, gold is nothing, which actually translates pretty well in my experience to how the statuses work within the Marriott lineup themselves. Silver and gold. Gold, at least you get late. You can request a late checkout at Marriott properties, but overall, I think the top tier, those are pretty good. But again, you just don't want to give out the stuff to everyone because it doesn't matter as much. So there you go. Let us know what you think. If you're on the road visiting, using those, to get your thoughts. But if you are using those and you're looking for another card, perhaps you're sick of the Venture X, because as the internet and all the fiery thumbnails will let you know, the Venture X is nerfed-ish something this time. This is their lounge access. Now, not to the Capital One lounges themselves, but this time we're looking at the Plaza Premium deal and a little bit of Priority Pass. So if we take a look at it, as I'm sure you've heard, so 2 changes for the Venture X, and this is personal and business. So starting March 1st of this year, you no longer get access to Plaza Premium lounges, but Plaza Premium is still has a partnership deal with Priority Pass, so you may still be able to get into some of those. And then Priority Pass is also going to be now limited to 2 guests as well, and that's the changes. Now, I agree with the doctor on this who posted it, because I could have sworn the guest limit changes were already on the site, and like they didn't tell us they were coming, right? But what they told us in bank speak, which is, well, I put a tiny disclaimer down there that eventually we were going to lower it to 2 guests. I think that was pretty much what's going to happen already. Plaza Premium's a bit weirder, because I remember when they added that back in, it was pretty cool, and then now they're taking it away. How much Plaza Premium affects you likely depends on where you travel. I think stateside, they don't really have that many. I think they have like 2 or 3, but they're also, you can get to them through Priority Pass, so it's probably fine. International is where you kind of get hit the worst. If you going abroad, then losing Plaza Premium could hurt. But again, you kind of got to match up the list and see what is in Plaza Premium, which ones already work for Priority Pass, because you do get Priority Pass with the card. The guest passes, I think 2 seems fair. How many people you want to bring in, man? Like 2, because it's 3 total. It's you plus 2 other people. Plus, I'm pretty sure if you wanted to, you could get authorized user cards for people, and then they get their own Priority Pass card. I'm pretty sure that still works. So you can still get around it. This is probably just to cap, folks who are bringing in tons of people, and, I think it just was costing them too much money, because there is a little bit of a, they swipe the card, and, Capital One, I think, pays for extra guests up to a certain amount. It's a little bit discounted, but they think they still pay. It's like 20 or 25 bucks, I think, that they pay. So you probably had a few people, like our first story with Aeroplan, dudes just running through it, bringing the whole crew through the lounge. So I think 2 passes is reasonable. Plus, you can get priority pass like through any card. And we talked about the authorized user move that I'm pretty sure that works. So I don't enjoy defending our frenemy, the banks, but sometimes like the bank, the issuers are allowed to defend themselves from people who go too far. Granted, sometimes we find ourselves in that group of people going too far. I mean, I'm sure I've done it, just not in travel stories and cashback stories, sure, but they're allowed to defend themselves, and they didn't take it to zero, as where other cards have required you to spend 75 grand to get a guest. So for that reason, I think I'm fine with it. It's too much. It's just far too easy to title videos, "Oh my gosh, they're ending this card," or whatever. When yeah, there are changes, they're technically negative, but they seem somewhat reasonable. I could see you being upset with Plaza Premium if you're like an international traveler. But anyhow, that's why I tend to stick to tried and true cashback. Now, this is so much isn't a news story, but it's a light week, and I don't want to leave you hanging here. So, Smartly. Now, I had promised we were going to do a video on how I got into Smartly, and I got in, but I hadn't really got in because while I had product changed my Cash Plus card, as I like to say, sacrifice it like in typical Kaiba style to bring out the blue eyes, if you will. It hadn't switched over behind the scenes. It all said Cash Plus still. The reward said Cash Plus, and it was just giving me 2 back on everything. Well, come January 1st or 2nd, whenever I logged into the account last, it was now officially switched over. Now there's a message. I can just put it on screen for you over there. But there's now a message that says, I am now, because I have 100 grand with him, I'm making the top amount. You can now see the percent or the rewards given to each purchase. So the time of taping, I think December 31st, I bought a pack of gum, and that was 2x. Friday, I went to the dentist, not that anyone cares, but, I paid for like a fluoride thing with that card, and it hasn't posted yet, but I imagine it'll show a 4x there. So for those of you who product change like myself, it seems that there was just a lengthy delay to sync everything up, which I had read somewhere, but it's Reddit, so you never really know. But I had talked to someone, I didn't really know them, but they're like, yeah, it's going to take till January 1st. So true to that stranger's word, January 1st. And here we go. We now have full Smartly action, which means we can now get to work on the actual video of how I got in case you want to follow that strategy. If you've been waiting to product change, it now means it's probably safe. The downside of being an early adopter, if you will. Now, funny enough, U.S. banks, their online desktop version does look better to me now. I think they've updated it. But really, reason I was really logging in was to make my 2025 IRA contribution. And of course, for whatever reason, that button doesn't work to make the contribution. So one thing at a time, I guess, we will make the contribution, I don't know, hopefully in the next week or so. Reminder to make your retirement account contributions. But I have like 94 grand in the IRA with US Bank, and I'm leaving 7 grand over there in like savings account. So I just want to get that into, the IRA. Hopefully fixing the button is on their thing to do. Yes, I tried multiple browsers and everything. If nothing else, I think I can just call them and get them to fund it. But anyhow, there you go. So Smartly is in full effect. We're starting the new year with an official 4% card, which is very nice. So we will put the video in the rotation for actually how I got in there. And it will treat it much like Bank of America, where we do like a full 1-year review, how it's going and everything. But, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We just made it to 2025. So there you go. That is the news for this week. So, of course, if you found it interesting, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. So we're posting content just like this every single week. And, of course, every single day over on ProfitableContent.com, where we have the latest news stories, bank promotions, and credit card offers. Everything to get you started in the new year earning correctly, or earning maximum value, we should say. But as always, thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon in the next one.